All right, recall when I was showing you reserve words when that you should avoid when you are giving a name or when you are determining the name you want to give your variable, right? So you will notice that we have some words that you might be like, yes, I admit that I might not be able to use this name, but what is the sense of having all of this, So now, first thing, one of the inbuilt variable or identifier that is available for us to use is the ask price, So I'm very sure you understand what the ask price is, which is the price at which you can potentially buy a particular security if you want to buy it now. So the ask price changes, of course. So let's print out the ask price, the current ask price. So I'll just say ask, just by saying ask, you can see the color is changing, meaning it is an inbuilt identifier, it is an inbuilt variable. So automatically this is going to fetch me the current price at which I can potentially at which I can potentially buy if I want to buy now. So now let me launch my script. You can see this is the ask price. Now every second since the market is open, the ask price changes. So now let me try to launch again. You can see the ask price has changed. Let me launch again. The ask price has changed again because almost every second, depending on the volatility of the security, the ask price will change. So that is that for ask price. So we are not limited to ask price. We can also get the bid price, Then we are not limited to that. We can also get the chart symbol or the chart instrument, the security that we are currently working on, the current chart symbol, How do we do that? We can say underscore symbol, which is this. So let me save and I'll compile. So let me launch. You can see it is telling me GBP USD. So let me do that for gold. So I'll just launch this on gold. You can see it is telling me gold. So let me launch this on US 30. You can see it is telling me US 30. So let me launch this on BTC USD. So you can see, let's see. You can see it's telling me BTC USD. So it is as simple as that. Let me launch it on Euro USD. So you can see, interesting, right? So that is that. So these are all available for us in MQL4. So we are not just limited to this. We can also get the digits, just like I showed you the other time. So I mean, when we were talking about the specification, so we can get the digits. So let me save and I'll compile. So remember what the digit is, right? The digit is how many numbers behind the decimal point of the price on the chart. For example, if you look at the number of decimal point, number of values after the decimal point, it is 5. So when I launch this, we should expect 5, right? So now let's go back to gold. So you can see the value, the digit is 2. So let me launch this. You can see it is programmatically retrieving this data for us. So let's go back to BTC USD. You can see, let's launch it to give us 2. So let's go back here. This is also 2. Let's launch it again. So you can see. So let's go back to this GBP USD, which is 5. So let's launch that. So you can see that is 5 as well, So it is as simple as that. All right, we are not just limited to this. We can also get something called points, So that is the point for that particular chart, So let me do this. I'll launch. You can see it is telling me that 0.0005. So that means the point, that means the minimum move on this chart, is 0.0001, So that is 1 times 10 raised to power minus 5, That is 0.00001, right? So now let's go back to gold. So what do you think the point will be? So let's launch and see. You can see the point is 0.001. So let's go for this. So let's see what the point is. So it is also 0.001. So that is that. So let's see what this point is, and so on. So let's try for USD JPY. Of course, the point will be 0.001 as well. I mean 0001. You can see that is the point. So with this point, we can automatically get the pips value, the pip of that particular symbol. So all you need to do is multiply it by 10, just like I mentioned when we were dealing with the trading terminology, right? We have another one called period. So this is going to get the period of the chart, the time frame. So let me save and I'll compile. So let's launch this. So you can see we are on 1 hour. So let's see what it's going to return. You can see it is telling us 60, meaning 60 minutes. So that means it is returning the value, the period in minutes. So let's change back to 5 minutes, It is going to return 5. If you can guess right, yes. let's change back to 1 minute. It's going to return one. All right. So let's change back to, let's say, 30 minutes. It's going to return 30, So if you want to get the period, you can get that. And it is as simple as that. So these are the identifiers or variables that are available for you at your disposal when you are using MQL4. So if you want to get the current ask price, maybe you want to buy and you need the current ask price. So you can just say ask. If you want the bid price, you can just say bid. If you want to know the chart symbol that you are currently working on, you can simply say this, and so on. So that is that. I'll see you on the next one.